One of Colonial's missions is to teach and learn. Some 10 years ago, Colonial began offering a human sexuality class called Our Whole Lives to kids in our community. The curriculum was created jointly by the UCC and the Unitarian Universalists.
So my name is Kelly Hansen, and I decided I wanted to be an Our Whole Lives facilitator because first and foremost, like most people, I didn't necessarily get the best education for sexuality, for articulating what it is that I need and want about my own body, whether it's in my personal relationships or whether it's with my doctors. And so this is an opportunity for anyone who wants to be involved in a kid's life, maybe take the pressure off of some parents, so that it's not them having to do this kind of a scary conversation, potentially anyway, or uncomfortable conversation with their kids.
Sexuality education probably isn't the first thing that comes to mind when you consider our church's mission, but for Kelly, it has real spiritual implications.
Well, from my perspective, church needs to be a whole embodied experience. In our particular denomination, we're in our heads a lot. We are not comfortable doing anything with our bodies. We are not comfortable going to a prayer station. We're really a lot more comfortable with having a book study and thinking about something. And so to be invited to experience something from our body is always going to be a little bit uncomfortable, I think, in a lot of churches. But God created us with bodies. God created us to be sexual beings. Everything that God created, God said, this is good. And I think that as an embodied person, I'm not just a brain floating around somewhere. As an embodied person, this is important. And it's important that the church does it because we can have our values imparted in science. We can have our values aligned with how we treat our bodies, and not shame-based, not purity-based, not culture-based.
The goal for these classes is to break through the usual embarrassment and shame that clings to sexuality and give kids understanding based in fact.
Hello, my name is Lucia Marquez Upman, and I participated in Our Whole Lives at Colonial Church when I was in about 6th grade, so 11 to 12 years old. I remember it was really important to me at that time because I was going through puberty, and the public school system didn't really give me a whole lot of information compared to what we learned in Our Whole Lives. We talked about what was happening to our bodies. We talked about our sexualities. We talked about what that meant. We talked about we talked about gender. Our Whole Lives is where I first learned what the term transgender meant. And it was very important to me to ask all of these questions and receive like real honest answers from people, which was really great.
And I think that's the goal, is to give whoever is on the receiving end comfort level, talking about it, being a resource, and being able to articulate what's going on with their own body.
But how do you get teenagers to talk about this stuff?
And we have this question box, so you don't have to necessarily even identify what the question is and who the asker is. You put your question on a postcard, you put it in the box, and the next week we address all of those questions. And so it's really non-threatening.
Kids who take Our Whole Lives classes can come away with some pretty important insights.
But I really hope that they take away the idea that this is their body, it's theirs to take care of, it's theirs to nourish and cherish and honor. It's okay to ask questions, it's okay to advocate for yourself, to say no, to stand up for what is your own comfort level, regardless of what that might be with your family, with your doctor, with your friends, with your significant other, your sexual partners. It's okay to ask for what you want. It's okay to say no. It's okay to know what it is that's going on with your body, and that can only be a good thing for your entire life.
Colonial's community is always teaching and always learning. To learn more about Our Whole Lives, visit the stewardship page on colonialucc.org or use this QR code.